it. Stop. Fuck. Ah. You're okay. You're okay. You're okay.
The scene I chose to analyze today is from Midsommar. The 2019 horror film was directed by Ari Aster and edited by Lucian Johnson. The pair also worked together on Aster's Hereditary, a psychological thriller released in 2018. The film Midsommar focuses on young couple Danny and Christian, who travel to Sweden with some friends for a midsummer festival following the tragic death of Danny's family. Although the film is full of bright, picturesque scenes, the tragedy Danny's family experiences casts a dark shadow on the film that is felt throughout as Danny works to overcome the trauma of her family's passing. The tension of the film only intensifies as what they thought would be a dream vacation in a place where the sun never sets quickly turns into a nightmare. The scene following the group's arrival to Sweden sets the tone for their bizarre and horrific visit to the idyllic community. Upon their arrival to Sweden, one of Christian's friends offers the group some psychedelic mushrooms. Danny, who is still very fragile from the death of her family, decides to partake in the shrooms after being pressured by her boyfriend and his friends. Shortly after the mushrooms take effect, Danny is plunged into a bad trip that causes her to panic and have unsettling hallucinations. Let's take a look at how this scene plays out.
I'm just gonna lay down, okay?
Yeah, do that.
Everybody else lay down. Guys, do it. It feels so nice. Josh, can you lay down, please?
Can you feel that? The energy coming up from the earth? Look, the trees too, they're breathing. Nature just knows instinctually how to stay in harmony. Everything just mechanically doing its part.
You guys are like my family. You're like my real, actual family.
Danny?
Sorry. I'm gonna go for a walk.
I can walk too.
No, I'm gonna... No. Don't think that. You're fine. It's almost your birthday. You're okay. You're fine. You're fine. Stop it. You're fine.
Hey, Danny. How are you?
They were laughing at me.
What? No. I'm sure they weren't. They've been laughing. You want to come meet my friends?
Thank you. I'm sorry. Thank you. Stop it. Stop. Fuck. Ah. You're okay. You're okay. You're okay.
Now that we've taken a look at the scene, let's look a bit deeper at some of the post-production techniques that make this scene unique. The amount of movement and tension in this scene may make one believe that there are more edits in this scene than there actually are. I counted a total of 6 cuts in this entire 3-minute scene, which is relatively few for a scene with this much movement. The camera follows Danny in an almost dizzying motion as it circles around her and her environment. The fluidity of the camera motion adds to the visual psychedelic effects that help us as viewers gain insight into her bad trip. I think this is a good example of how the rhythm and pacing of a scene can be dependent upon camera movement rather than the speed or frequency of cuts. Another compelling element of this scene is the visual effects that editors added during post-production that help audience identify with the psychedelic effects that Danny is experiencing. This is something done throughout the film that adds to the eerie and unsettling nature of Midsommar. Lastly, I'd like to direct your attention to the sound design in this scene that is also motivated to amplify the psychedelic experience Danny is having. As the panic within Danny builds, so does the depth of sound. This is even apparent when looking at the sound waves of the edit. You begin to hear quickened breaths get louder, the voices and laughter of the nearby villagers rise to a crescendo, and a dense ambient soundtrack is added to give the audio in the scene more weight and pressure that continues to build until the climax of the scene where Danny is running through the woods to escape her hallucinations. To wrap up my thoughts on the scene, I would say that the editor's attention to balance and his understanding that sometimes less is more when it comes to the frequency of cuts helps add to the suspenseful nature of the scene and the film itself. I also think the artful use of visual effects and sound design elevate the most interesting and dynamic aspects of Midsommar. I look forward to seeing the new inventive ways that director Ari Aster and editor Lucian Johnston tell compelling stories. Thanks for watching.